Welcome to Best Bets for Week 2 NFL Sunday. This is the NFL Kickoff Show presented by FootballTakes.com. I'm joined by my fellow Ring Chasers co-host, Corey Walsh. We're going to be doing a little competition here with our best bets for the NFL every Sunday. It's good to get you away from Ring Chasers, just talk general football for a little bit so we don't have to cry about the Patriots' loss last week.
Yeah, now we're spreading our coverage worldwide. You're welcome. No, I know Alabama lady from last week's totally tuned in, so this is going to be awesome.
Alabama lady stole the show last week. She was basically on the show. That's what
she was our third co-host. I mean, thanks a lot.
We had like our plan going through the show, and she just kept putting comments in. It's like, all right, we got to change plans. We got to give the people what they want, Corey. That's what we do here on the Sports 2.0 network. All right,
exactly.
DraftKings Sportsbook, this show presented by DraftKings. Guys, we're working with DraftKings now. We got the Sportsbook up right here. We're going to be breaking down our best bets for every Sunday game. Hey, we'll even get with the Monday night game in here as well. $1,000 deposit match with DraftKings. The link is in the bio, or links in the description. I always say bio because I'm thinking Instagram. Links in the description below, guys. Make sure you check that out. Just click the link, sign up. You're going to get a $1,000 deposit match. If you're not a high roller, you want to put $10 in, you get a $10 deposit match. So it's up to $1,000. Shout out DraftKings, best book in the business. Subscribe to the network. And let's get into it. Let's let the competitions begin, Corey. We got Raiders, Steelers. We're just going to go through the game. Steelers are 5.5-point favorites right now. This game is in Pittsburgh. They're coming off a huge win last week. Huge win, yes, but the Buffalo Bills did implode, as we talked about on our show. But we'll start with you. Who do you like in this game?
I feel like this is a really tough game because while they both won in kind of ugly ways. Because when you looked at Oakland's game last week against the Ravens should have won that game like 3 different times. And Derek Carr looked lost for the whole first half, only to find Darren Waller for like 13 times to get him out of that hole. And Lamar Jackson's fumble certainly helped. But even when they almost won the game, they almost lost it. And Pittsburgh their offense looked so stagnant for a majority of that game. If their defense wasn't super dominant, they would have lost against Buffalo. So when I look at this game, it's honestly, I kind of like the Raiders to cover the spread, honestly. And I would say this game's probably going to go over 46 as well. So I'm going to take the Raiders.
All right, so you're taking Raiders. What are you taking them at? Because we got to keep track here, Corey.
I'm taking them at 5.5.
Taking Raiders plus 5.5. Okay, so I'm going to go the other way. I like the Steelers at minus 5.5 at home. We look at this game. Yes, the Bills did implode last week, but the Steelers have a strong defense. I think that's going to give the Raiders a lot of trouble. And then we look at the Raiders defense. They're not very good. I know, they had a decent week, whatever, but I just don't think the Raiders defense has enough to slow down the Steelers. If they get rolling today, let's see what Najee Harris can do back there. I love the Steelers minus 5.5 at home. Now, if this game was in Las Vegas, it might be a little different for me, but I'm going to go with the Steelers on the points here.
The only thing about the Raiders that kind of makes me a little curious is that the Baltimore Ravens defense is also very good. I mean, they didn't have Marcus Peters, which is like their best corner. But Pittsburgh, I feel like if I would say Pittsburgh's probably a top 3 defense overall, I would say the Ravens are probably like top 7. So I feel like the Raiders didn't play any slouch defense last week and still generated a decent amount of offense.
Yeah, and I think another thing, too, that's going to factor into that did factor into that win last week was playing at Allegiant Stadium with fans. So we got to factor that in. You're going to a hostile environment in Pittsburgh. I'm going to go Steelers minus 5.5, but this is why we do this, Corey. You know what? Sportsbooks want to split it down the middle. They want half the people taking one side, half the people taking another, because they always win. So we'll see who wins between us this week in this game.
For sure.
49ers are 3-point favorites on the road against the Eagles. First of all, fly, Eagles, fly. I mean, the city of Philadelphia is riding high right now after their big win in Atlanta over the Falcons. I mean, the Falcons are absolute trash, but the Eagles went in there and made them look like trash. And I don't think a lot of people expected that. I think a lot of people expect the Eagles to win, but I don't think they thought they were going to blow them off the field by any means. We look at the 49ers here. I mean, I think this game kind of speaks for itself, in my opinion, but what do you think?
I think this game is super confusing because I think both these teams could easily be the fraud win of week 1. Like when the Jacksonville Jaguars last season beat the Colts in week 1, and we're like, oh my God, maybe we thought the Jaguars were a lot better than we thought they were. And then they lost their last 15 games. So the Eagles played the Falcons, who I think are just absolutely awful. So I can't really say, like, what are the Eagles that good or are the Falcons that bad? And then the 49ers almost blew a dominant game 1 win against the Lions to make it a semi-close game. But that's also probably because they were playing just prevent offense and just running the ball the whole time. I think I'm going to stick with the 49ers, but a part of me was thinking maybe I should go with the Eagles.
All right, so when I did my best bets earlier in the week, I locked in the Eagles at +3.5. Now the line has shifted down to -3. This messes with my emotion a little bit because obviously in football, 3.5 is a lot safer than 3 because you're going to push it 3 on the field goal. Considering this game is in Philadelphia, knowing how crazy Philly fans are, I'm going to do something a little crazy right now, Corey. I'm going to go with the Eagles at +3. I would rather have them at +3.5. I recommend buying a half a point. But I'm going to go with the Eagles at +3 in this game, Corey. Lock that up right now. Philly gets a huge win today, and they think they're going to go to the Super Bowl if they win today. And that's how Eagles fans roll. That's why I'm going with them.
Bold moves only.
It's bold. No, that's bold. I don't know why I just did that.
I was going into this thinking I was going to pick Eagles, but the more I thought about it, I'm like, I just feel like they could be the frauds of week 1. That's like my only concern.
Corey, honestly, I don't know why I just did that. That might have been the stupidest.
You're a bold man. This is why they pay you the big bucks.
We will see. I guess that's why they pay me the big bucks here on the best bets for week 2 NFL Sunday morning show. But we'll see how it goes. I mean, I love the Eagles at home. If this game's in San Francisco, I'm going to go with San Francisco 100%. But just because they're at home, coming off the big win last week on the road, I mean, they're giving the Eagles fans in Atlanta are giving the offensive line beer after the game. You see that with Kelsey? Kelsey's chugging Bud Lights after the game with the Eagles. That's just how they roll. They're freaking crazy in Philadelphia. They get the win today. Texans Browns here. Now, the Texans we talk about being frauds, right? Or whatever. They showed up last week and they played pretty decent football. Not a lot of people expected that. But again, Tyrod Taylor, like when we think about it, if he didn't get the needle through his lung last year and like you know what, the Justin Herbert era might not even started. So we got to factor that in. Browns -13. I don't know. We hate these big spreads. What do you like in this game?
I think the Texans are the worst team that have won a week 1 and probably forever. Because if you watch that game back, the Jaguars looked worse, but the Texans looked awful. Like if they played any other team, they would have lost. They had the worst win I've ever seen. It was like they were trying to be like, it was like just a game of keep away. It's like, no, you can have it. No, I don't want to win. You can have the win. They're like, I guess we'll take it. So our fans don't think we're like imploding. This line is just so big though. And the Browns went toe-to-toe with the Chiefs. I feel like I just have to go with the Browns in this massive line. I'll take the Browns -13, I guess, but it's just so big that it's so daunting.
Yeah, definitely. And just to clarify, guys, we're going best bet. So obviously the Browns on the money line, I don't have it up here. Let me see. Browns on the money line is going to get -675. So we don't have billions of dollars to put down on the Browns to win to get a decent return of that. Now, that's a good parlay. I think putting the Browns in a money line, just getting a little more value to it. But I like the Browns at -13. When I did it earlier in the week, it's -12.5. And just to say, guys, like it pays to bet early in the week because look at these line shift. -12.5 is so much safer than -13, just the way football scoring works. I still think the Browns cover. They gave the Chiefs a hell of a game last week. And we look at the Chiefs. I mean, they're a team that can drop back and not play well early and just come alive late. We've seen it so many times, especially against the Browns. But I think Baker Mayfield bounces back this week. It's a big win at home. And just like Philly fans, Cleveland fans are freaking nuts too.
They were in the parking lot at 8 o'clock last night, lined up to get into the stadium for tailgating.
Really?
Yeah, I write stuff for the Browns and for the Cavs, so I have a ton of I follow a bunch of Cleveland Twitter accounts, and they were like all being like, "Let's go," and they were just chugging it in the line to that stadium.
That's awesome. That's so cool though. Like that's just they support it. Like remember when the Browns were gonna hadn't won a game and the Bud Light coolers and all that.
Yeah, they're gonna unlock simultaneously. That was pretty sick.
Like that's the kind of city that is. But that's why football's great. Like that's why it's the greatest game in the world. Just the fans are so into it, so passionate about it. And you only get it one day a week, really. On Sundays, get the big slate. So I mean, obviously Browns fans taking advantage of it before they got to go back to work tomorrow. Broncos -6 versus the Jaguars. I mean, this game is self-explanatory in my opinion. I'm going to go first, Corey.
Jaguars. You take it. Jaguars, I'm going to let you just roll wild.
Broncos -6. Broncos -6. That's why the Jaguars don't even have a head coach. Urban doesn't want to be there. Jaguars.
USC is calling his name, but he put him on voicemail for now.
Yeah, he's like, no way I'm going back to the college ranks. I don't think he's going to be a professional head coach much longer. I think he's going to do his year. Say he has anxiety, probably take a year off, and then go back to college. That's my opinion, but. Broncos -6. I love this bet here, even at -6. I think it was -5.5 earlier in the week. No, it's still -6. I'm going with the Broncos. What are you doing?
I'm following you. I'm going to take the -6. Urban Meyer to me just comes off as this spoiled, entitled bitch, honestly. Like, everyone's like, he hasn't lost a game in so long that really matters. And when he does, he really hates it. It's like it's like when you have like that rich friend who finally realizes when he's off of his parents' money that life really kind of sucks. And this is what Urban's really doing. He's coming into our world of where, you wake up some days and you're going to lose those days. It's just how you handle it. And he doesn't handle it too well. He also doesn't really know how to use Trevor Lawrence either. He's made it abundantly clear that he doesn't want Trevor Lawrence to run, even though in college he was a pretty decent runner at quarterback. But if you don't want to have your offense move the chains, you know what, Urban? That's fine with me because you'll probably just be back in like the top 3 of the draft next year. This line should honestly be higher because Denver at least is a decent team, and I'm pretty sure the Jaguars are in competition already for being one of the top 5 in the draft next year.
Yeah, I mean, I took Jaguars at, I think they were -3 on the road last week, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were I took them at -3, and I was just like, I was thinking, like, what did I just do? Like, what did I do with my life? Like, have I like, that was just a terrible decision.
Well, to be fair to you, I mean, everyone in the offseason has been pumping up this Jags team because it's like new quarterback, new coach.
Tim Tebow until he got caught. We can't forget.
Yeah, well, Tebow was going to really help. His pass blocking was going to open that run game in ways that no one saw coming.
So, I mean, yeah, I made a mistake. That could be my Eagles bet this week, honestly. The Eagles could be the worst bet in the world or the best bet in the world, but that's why we got to play the game, Corey.
Of course.
All right, this is another interesting game here. Saints -3.5. Jameis Crableg Winston is back, better than ever. I've never seen him play better than he did last Sunday. All right, let's go eat a W today, boys. Let's go eat a W. Let's eat -3 up. You got the Panthers. Did the Panthers look good last week against the Jets? Hell no, they didn't. But they have Christian McCaffrey, and any team with Christian McCaffrey, you got to consider them at least. So in this game, I mean, I'll let you go first because that's how I do it. I'm the host. I'm going to let you make your picks before I do mine. But
you're so cordial.
Yeah,
gotta say.
Hey, eat a W.
Well, first off, I want to take the over of 45 because I feel like this game could easily be an offensive explosion from both sides because it's divisional. So you can't really go into it thinking that, oh, the Panthers almost lost to the really shitty Jets. No, because no matter how true that is, it's divisional and anything can happen. And I think the Panthers offense is pretty solid overall. I mean, with Darnold at the helm, it's going to be a lot better than with Bridgewater. Not that Bridgewater's bad, but Darnold has a better arm. I think he can stretch the ball downfield a lot better. I still think the Saints are going to win this, so I'm going to take them at -3.5. I don't think it's going to be super close. I would probably say this game would be like in the 50s combined score.
So I'm going to go against you here, Corey. And I know this is not because we need some back and forth on the show, but I like the under in this game for a few reasons. You look at the Panthers, Darnold's going to be better this week, but they're going to rely on Christian McCaffrey. They got to come out. They got to run the football, Christian McCaffrey, keep the clock moving. The Saints defense is much improved from the Jets. It's going to be a much tougher challenge. They shut down Aaron Rodgers last week. They're probably riding high. Granted, the Packers just played like absolute trash, so we got to factor that into the equation. But we're talking about Jameis Winston here. We're like Jameis Winston, whatever, 5 touchdowns. Everyone's making a big deal last week. He threw the 55-yard touchdown pass in the air. Did you see that clip?
Mm-hmm.
Like, when they were saying Drew Brees never did this in his time in New Orleans. Well, you know what? I would much rather have Drew Brees than Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston is an interception machine, okay? It's going to show at some point this season. I know they do the dink and dump like we were talking about with the Patriots and Mac Jones, but still, I don't trust Jameis to score consistently again. I need to see what he can do this week before I really rely on him to score a lot of points. I like the under in this game, Corey. I think it's low scoring one.
I can see that blueprint definitely panning out. The issue is that both these running backs, Kamara and McCaffrey, are like pass first running backs. So I feel like when they use them at their max potential, they're going to stretch the field. And it's just like, I feel like, I don't know. I feel this is if you own Kamara or McCaffrey in fantasy, you would be having you're going to have a great weekend. I guarantee it. I'm not a fantasy guy on this network, but I would guarantee a great fantasy game for all the players involved.
So I was looking at McCaffrey's, because I wrote a preview on this game, his numbers against New Orleans in 2019. Now, again, you can't really factor in 2019, right? I guess a little bit, but one game he came out, he played really well against the Saints. And then the last game, they just absolutely shut him down. The Saints blew him off the field. So, it should be interesting to see if they shut down McCaffrey, the Saints are going to win the game with ease. And I do think the Saints win no matter what, even with Crableg, Jameis Winston back there. All right. Randy W. I can't even do that. I like how you did. The look on whose face was it when he gave that speech? in like the background.
I don't remember. Maybe it was like Gerald McCoy or something.
Yeah, I'm like what is wrong with this dude?
Everyone's like, so are we supposed to be like hyped up by this? Because I'm really just more concerned for your mental health, but it's whatever. Yeah. That CTE is a bitch, man. Let me tell you.
Rams -3.5 versus the Colts here. When we look at this game, I mean, I think Carson Wentz's life is in danger, as we talked about. It's not going to be good for the Indianapolis Colts today.
No, this is going to be a shit show. It's not really a really fair 1-2 to go from Seattle to the Rams. So if I was the Colts, I wouldn't be overreacting to being 0-2 because the two teams you're playing are two of the top teams in the NFC. The Rams have the best defense in football, in my opinion. They're going to just absolutely ravage Carson Wentz because I don't even think we know if Carson Wentz is good in this offense yet, honestly. He didn't really show it last week. It's not like we think Seattle has a top 10 defense. They've always been kind of in the middle of the pack since like the Legion of Boom died. And I mean, 3.5. I would have taken this line if it was Rams -5.5. Honestly, I don't see this game being close at all.
And I think the only saving grace of the Colts is it's in Indianapolis, which is a tough place to play. But again, yeah, this is a no-brainer. I mean, Colts got a lot of injuries up front. They got a lot of injuries in general, and Carson Wentz is injury prone. So the combination of all that with Aaron Donald coming at you every single play is not going to be a good combination for Carson Wentz today.
Yeah, I mean, also, the big question is who's Jalen Ramsey going to cover? Because Michael Pittman, I wouldn't consider a wide receiver 1, but I guess in the case of the Colts, he is the wide receiver 1. Or you have to cover Zach Pascal. So, I don't know. Kind of an ugly offense overall.
Yeah, I'm sure they float him around probably today a little bit.
Like they did against the Bears. They didn't even put him on Robinson that much. They kind of played him like at linebacker sometimes. It was kind of crazy. They were just kind of disrespecting Robinson a ton. And
I bet they're going to disrespect the Colts today too, because
I disrespect the Colts, so it doesn't. I bet they will as well.
All right, this is my game of the week here. I think this is one of the big upset games. The Dolphins. I think.
Oh my God!
The Dolphins walk into Buffalo and are not walking to Buffalo. It's down Miami. I think the Bills go down to Miami and possibly get beat. I like the Dolphins on the money line in this game, Corey. I do. And I like them at +3 a lot. I like them at +3.5 a lot more. But I think a money line is a safe bet. Let's see what they're at here. +170 on the money line. I think that's really good value. But I would rather take them at +3.5 just because it's a lot safer.
See, we both watched this Dolphins-Patriots game last week.
I know. Two didn't look good. We know.
And I didn't watch anything that makes me think this Dolphins offense can keep up with Josh Allen and the Bills. I think the Dolphins have a good defense. I think they have a top 10 defense. I think Pittsburgh's is a lot better though. And they gave Josh Allen fits. And I think Josh Allen and the Bills offense can easily explode for like 30 plus points. It's more that I just don't think the Bills offense is going to leave the Dolphins offense behind. I just don't see this game being that close. I feel because it's divisional, we obviously want to think it's going to be a lot closer. I can see why you picked the Dolphins, has good odds. I think I have to stick with Buffalo, which really makes me sick to my stomach because I feel like I've only picked one underdog so far. So a little upsetting, but I'll take Buffalo and Josh Allen in a comeback win. Everyone in the division is going to be 1-1 at the end of the week, except for the Jets. Okay. Fuck you.
So last week I picked like all favorites and it didn't work out. I think I was 8-7 on the week with my bets, right? Wasn't great for me. Now, when we look at this game, though, I just think the Dolphins can go in and beat the Bills, especially if the Bills don't come out and run the football. Do the Bills have the capability to run the football? Hell yeah, they do. But if they ask Josh Allen to throw the ball 50-something times, that's not a winning formula. It's never going to be a winning formula. I think the Dolphins they're at home. It's a lot colder up in Buffalo. It's a lot warmer down in Miami. I don't know, Corey. I just feel good. I feel good about this team. Can
I make a quick counter to your point just a second ago?
What? Is it in?
The Bills only throw the football. Last year, during their best times, they never used their running backs. They're like accessories on the field. It was like, all right, we have to have one on the field. So Devin Singletary or Zach Moss, just stand to the side of Josh Allen, and he'll run it if anything, but you're not going to touch it.
But, Corey, why did they get beat last week against Pittsburgh? Because they didn't have the run game.
But they never had the run game last year, and they won the division, and they got to the AFC Championship game.
The division was trash. You need to run the football. You got to run the football.
They got to the AFC Championship game.
I don't like teams that don't run the football. Bills need to run the football. Dolphins are going to come out and beat them today. Mark my words, +170 on the money line if you want to take a risk, +3.5 on the points.
I'm not arguing that you should take the Dolphins. I'm just saying the Bills' offense last year is the same thing it looked like last week. The only difference is they played Pittsburgh's defense.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see. But you know what? If they would have had a run game, Corey, if they would have been pounding the rock, I think they would have won that game last week.
Go home. Everyone who's watching, look up Zach Moss and Devin Singletary highlights. Come back to me and tell me if you think they should run the ball. Those running backs suck. They are the most underwhelming running back core
I know.
in the NFL.
But you can't throw the ball 50 times a game and expect, like, I know they made it to the AFC Championship game, but the best football teams, what are the best football teams, Corey? What do they do?
They're balanced, but Kansas City can't run the ball that well either. As a great counter.
They have some dudes, though, when you think about it, in the back.
They do, but they don't use, like,
you got Mahomes.
Josh Allen is their best runner. And if they want to use Josh Allen to run, that's good enough for them to win the game. But they didn't really use him to run because they had a spy on him like the whole time. Kind of a waste, though, because Josh Allen doesn't really want to run first.
And what did Josh Allen do stat-wise last week? I want to say.
The issue with Josh Allen last week was that his accuracy took a huge step back from what it was last year, which a lot of people were thinking was an anomaly because no quarterback really increases their completion percentage by like 10%, which is what Josh Allen essentially did. And it looked like he was starting to overthrow receivers again. And if Josh Allen's accuracy takes a step back, this Bills team takes a step back. Not saying they're going to not make the playoffs. They definitely will. But they're not going to be an AFC championship contender if Josh Allen is regressing.
Yeah, 30 of 51 for 270 yards and a touchdown.
That sounds like old Josh Allen stats to me. Like when people thought Josh Allen sucked 2 years ago.
All right, so we got some comments in here. Saints or Panthers? He did great. Josh Allen did not do great. Saints or Panthers? Saints or Panthers? We talked about this game earlier. Corey, I had the. Let me.
What did I have? Hold on. I took the Saints. I took the over.
You took the over. I took the under of this game. And then if I'm picking a team straight up to win, I'm going to go with the Saints.
We both agreed that we want the Saints, but we disagreed on over-under. So that's up to you.
Yeah.
I was going to pronounce your name, but I was definitely going to butcher it. So I'll just say, McCoy, you choose over or under at your own discretion.
We're not here to give you guys the bets. Like we're saying our bets. You guys go in, take what you want, and use it. Because the last thing we want is you guys coming back saying best bets for week 2 NFL Sunday lost us a lot of money. But
if you want to be homeless, you can take my bets.
I mean, I'm an average bettor. I went 8-7 last week. I study this shit every day, though. So you know what? We're gonna have a better week this week. It's all mindset. Betting's all mindset, Corey.
We're both gonna finish above 500, so you can just choose who you like.
Yeah, we're each gonna be like 53%. So that's good enough to win money. All right. Oh, we got another one in here rolling in. Rams or Colts, Eagles or Niners. Dude, you got to watch the show, man. Didn't we talk about this?
I think you're doing a great job. If you could just rewind or wait till this is published online, you can get the picks.
You got the whole description below. We can't go back here, but we will say with the Rams, that's an easy decision. Carson Wentz could die today. Go with the Rams. Eagles or Niners.
We split.
I like them at +3.5. Correct, Corey? And it was +3.5. And then you had the Niners at -3.5.
I think it was 3.
It was 3 earlier in the week. It was 3.5 when I took.
Yeah, you liked them at 3.5. That was when your lock.
Yeah. All right. So go back, watch the rest of the show. Let's see what games we still have.
Damn it, McCoy.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're halfway through. 24 minutes, Corey. We got to speed this up a little bit. Patriots -6 versus the Jets. We talked about this game on our podcast. If the Patriots don't come out and cover -6, there is a problem today.
Yeah, oh God, there's a part of me that just wants to like cover my bases and take the Jets at +6. The Jets are just so banged up that I just can't. If we lose, Tanner, I think we should just stop the podcast for the Patriots. It should just be over because what's the point? The Patriots fans are going to riot. We're going to riot.
Good content, though. We'll have some good clips if they do lose. That's the benefit, I guess. But
I'm willing to take this hit on myself emotionally. I'm taking the Jets +6. I'm going to cover my bases. I can't. I need to have a reason to be happy that we lost. And this is my chance. Jets +6, and I'm taking the under.
All right. I like the under as well, but I like Patriots -6. We look at what we did last week. Bill Belichick teams, Corey, do not come out and make the same mistakes twice. I guarantee no fumbles today. Who knows? Matt could have an interception because he still hasn't thrown one yet. No fumbles today. We play lockdown defense. I looked at the game preview, too, on the Patriots website. And the Patriot beat writers write those, but like we have an advantage in every category according to every single writer that writes about Patriots football. And the Patriots writers love to hate on the Patriots. There are so many that love to hate on the Patriots, and they're saying we have an advantage in every category, Corey. We go with the Patriots at -6, Mac Jones all the way.
I just needed to cover my bases emotionally. This isn't for content or anything. This is for me, just so you know.
All right. Patriots -6. Go with me in this game. Zion.
Don't go with me. I don't feel good about it. So.
All right. When we look at this game, now I want to talk about the advantages of betting early. You could have got the Bengals at +3.5 at one point this week. They are now down to +1.5 against the Bears. I mean, there's just no brainer. Like if you're picking a team at +3.5 versus +1.5, there's a huge difference in that. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but it's a lot. Bengals versus Bears here. Corey, who do you like in this game?
I'm taking the Bears. I think there's going to be a Justin Fields sighting at halftime. I think this game, the Bears did look not great, but I think the Rams are just that good. So anyone who is going to play them is going to look awful, as we'll see with Carson Wentz later today. The Bears, they're the most underwhelming team in football offensively. They're so dry. They're so stagnant. I know the Bengals just came off a great win against the Vikings. The Vikings suck. I don't think the Vikings are that good. I don't think the Bengals are that good. I'm taking the Bears -1.5. I would bet the under. This game is going to be ugly.
All right. So I like the Bengals at +3.5 really when I had them. Now they're down to 1.5. I still like the Bengals in this game. I think Joe Burrow mania is running wild right now, Corey, and that's going to put them over the Bears today. Bears didn't look good in the opener, and I think Matt Nagy's like, how can I lose my job? What's the quickest way to lose my job? Let me put the red rocket in there. Do I think Justin Fields gets in the game today? Probably. Yeah, I do. But again, he's sticking with Andy Dalton. He said Andy Dalton's going to be my guy to start the game at least. If you were going to put Justin Fields in, if you were going to start Justin Fields, this is the perfect week to do it because from what I know about the Bears schedule, they go through the ringer in the next coming games.
Yeah, this is their chance. The Bengals are not a great defense. They looked kind of decent against Kirk Cousins. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Kirk Cousins sucks. He's pretty mediocre.
I think the Vikings are okay. I think they're okay.
I just don't think Kirk Cousins makes that offense anything special. He's like pretty limited. I mean, they have great offensive weapons with Thielen, Jefferson, Dalvin Cook. Their tight ends are not that great. It's like Conklin and Chris Herndon from the Jets. Yeah. I mean, if you put a little above average quarterback in there, like if this team had Herbert, this team would be great. Herbert's like a really elite quarterback. That was a terrible example. I feel like Kellen Mond would even make this team a little more dangerous. I just think the Bengals aren't as good as we think they are because they beat the Vikings.
Well, that's similar to the Titans too, with Tannehill back there, and you have all those weapons there as well. Like if you had a little better quarterback, they'd probably be a lot better.
I like Tannehill a lot more than I like Kirk Cousins. Because when you look at the advanced stats on Tannehill's actually a very decent quarterback, but that also could be because of Arthur Smith, the now Falcons head coach, who was their coordinator for the past 2 years.
Yeah, well, his it didn't help much against the Eagles on Sunday, the offense.
No.
Falcons, Bucks.
Great transition.
Falcons, Bucks -12.5 here. This is going to be an anal reaming. That's what I'm going to call this game today, Corey. -12.5. We hate taking massive spreads, but I think we both agree that Tampa Bay comes and covers this at home.
Yep. It's in Tampa, and I would call this game swamp ass because it's gross and no one really wants it. Tampa just is going to absolutely eviscerate the Falcons. The Eagles, who we both aren't that positive, are going to be great. You do love them in this against the Niners for the cover. But I think we're both going to agree that we don't think the Eagles are making noise this year in like any facet. No. I think Tampa's going to come through this game, and if I had any DFS, I have Brady, I would take Brown, I would take Godwin, I would take everyone because everyone's going to touch the ball in the end zone at some point. I'm taking the Bucks with this line, and I'm actually going to take them with the over too, which is 52, because I think the Bucks could drop 40 and that the Falcons could at least drop 12.
Yeah, I like the over in this game. I like Buccaneers at 12.5. That's my main bet. And also props. I have a lot of props in this game. Antonio Brown, anytime touchdown score. Sorry, main one. Antonio Brown, anytime touchdown score. I love that bet today. He got involved last week. Brady gets the whole offense involved, which is fun to watch, and the Falcons are trash. 12.5 should be a lock today, especially at home in Raymond James Stadium, reigning, defending Universal National Super Bowl champions of the world. That's what I say. Vikings, Cardinals, -4. Kyler Murray's legit. When we look at this game, I mean, Cardinals, I like the Cardinals at -4.
That's all I gotta say.
That's all I gotta say. I like the Cardinals. You can't shit on the Vikings and even like you can't even think about this game.
No, it's not more about the Vikings. I just don't like the Cardinals are just one injury away from Kyler Murray from being a really bad team. Because that's what we saw last year. They looked really good offensively for like the first 10 weeks. Then Kyler Murray hurts his shoulder. And suddenly it looks like this team just fell off a cliff. I would know because I had Kyler Murray for fantasy and that team shit the bed right after his shoulder popped out. I'm going to take the Cardinals at -4. The line actually just switched to 3.5. This makes me actually want them. I'll still take them at 3.5.
Yeah, well, I'd rather take my 3.5. Yeah.
Yeah, this is great.
3.5.
And I would actually, I'm just going to keep it at 3.5 because that's what I'm going to take. And that's it. This game could go either way. I don't know if the Cardinals defense was that good or the offensive line for the Titans was just that bad with Chandler Jones getting 5 sacks.
Yeah. I mean, I like the Cardinals. Like you said, though, one injury away. But you can't bet on Kyler Murray getting injured because realistically, every week he has a chance of getting injured. Like he runs football every week. He's ruthless back there. He puts his body at risk, right? Like he's going to get hurt at some point this season. You don't know when it's going to be, but if he's healthy going into the game, I'm going to roll with him.
Oh no, I was more like saying that like if Kyler Murray plays too conservative because he's thinking he'll get hurt again by running the ball aggressively, that's going to make that offense a lot worse because his legs are more dangerous than his arm.
His leg and his scrambling. It's like a freaking video game back there. He's going to get hurt at some point. That's just what quarterbacks like that, it happens to him, right? It's impossible not.
Everyone in the NFL gets hurt. It's just some injuries are so bad you can't play on them. Like everyone plays banged up after like week 5.
Yeah, especially with 17 games this year.
Or a torn ACL or MCL like Tom Brady.
There you go. Titans versus Seahawks. Seahawks -6 in this game. I don't know. I think the Titans bounced back a little bit this week. They had such a rough start against Arizona. What do you think?
This is my best bet of the week. I'm taking the Titans at +6. I think it's going to be an absolute rebound game. It's going to be like 59 and raining in Seattle, from what I've heard. That is Derrick Henry weather. Let the Yeti eat. Let's just watch him eviscerate the Seahawks defense. That I think now everyone's like, this Seahawks defense seems pretty good now. I don't think so. I mean, they're the same defense they were last year. They didn't really change anything that drastically, unless you think Jamal Adams is going to be like, he's not going to make this defense infinitely better. He was like on and off with health issues last year. I think Derrick Henry's going to have a massive day. I don't know if the passing game will have a massive day, but that at least will open play action up for Tannehill, and that's when he's at his most dangerous. Because Henry last week had his worst rushing game since week 5 of last season against the Cardinals. Yeah,
I totally agree with that. I like the Titans. I had them at +5.5 earlier this week. I'll take them at +6. It really doesn't affect me that much.
Unfazed.
Scared money don't make money. Give the ball. Let the big boy eat. That's what I think. Let the big boy eat today in Seattle. Yeah, let him eat. Let him eat, baby. It should be a good one. I'm excited about that game. One of the better games on the slate this week. Cowboys Chargers. I need to get a Justin Herbert jersey, honestly. Like this dude he's a sex god that can fucking throw the football down the field. Like he is legit. He's the future of this league, I think. I'm going to make that bold of a statement, Corey. He's the future.
Is Patrick Mahomes like going to get a heart attack within the next 3 years, or
no? But Patrick Mahomes is old news already. Like he's been here. Like last year, it pissed me off when Patrick Mahomes was like in the or 2 years ago, whatever. Last year when he was in the Super Bowl, and it was like, okay, Mahomes versus Brady, and if Mahomes doesn't beat Brady, he's never going to be able to chase down Brady with the number of rings he's won. Like, why are we already comparing Patrick Mahomes to Tom Brady? That's just unfair. Is Mahomes a better quarterback than Tom Brady? Yes. Is he a better quarterback than Tom Brady's ever been, like skill-wise, just the ability to make plays? Yes. But the fact of the matter is, you shouldn't be comparing Patrick Mahomes to Tom Brady after one Super Bowl victory. That's just unfair.
The way I look at the Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes thing is the way that people look at the Michael Jordan, LeBron James argument. Like when it first started, like LeBron was already getting comparisons to Jordan within his like first 4 years, and he didn't win anything until like 2010. So I think everyone's just really excited to be a part of the generation with the best player. Like kids who are younger than us, like the TikTok generation is like, oh man, I'm watching the best football player that's ever played because I didn't get to watch Tom Brady play. Who was like, but then before it was Mahomes, it was Manning. It's always like, And then before before Brady, it was Montana. Like everyone is trying to be a part of the best player of all time. You want to claim to your kids to be like, I saw the best football player of all time play. I don't know if we're going to say Justin Herbert's in that conversation.
No, but I think he's going to be a very popular football player in the coming years. Especially if he can do something with the Chargers and make them kind of the authority in LA. I'm not saying they're going to be better than the Rams, but he's a very good quarterback. I think they got a good system there. Anyways, we're talking about this game. So let's focus on this game, Corey. But with Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes, I'm going to say this final thing. Tom Brady is the greatest football player to ever step on a football field. Greatest.
I'm not going to disagree.
So it's like there's never going to be a debate over who, like, because no one's ever going to be Tom Brady again. You find me, and honestly, the Buccaneers could win another one before he's done playing, right? He says he's going to play till 50 years old. There's never going to be a quarterback like Tom Brady. Never going to be a football player like Tom Brady. He's a winner. It's just what he does. And fucking lose. Right.
I would continue it, but I know we really just need to get into this Chargers-Cowboys game.
Cowboys-Chargers, yeah. I mean, we both agree, though. We both agree on Brady.
Yes. I was going to say, I'm not going to agree with you on this game because I feel like you're going to take the Chargers -3.
No, so when I look at this game, actually, I took the Cowboys on the money line.
Oh, damn it!
That's great. That's great value. Cowboys money line +135.
I know. That's why I was excited. I thought you were going with Herbert. I'm like, oh, sweet! I can't wait to zag on this.
They looked great. I don't think. Listen, I'm not saying the Chargers are good. I mean, I don't think the Washington
great quarterbacks elevate the play of bad teams.
I don't think either of these teams are like. I think the Cowboys are pretty good. I think they're going to be hands down easy NFC East champion.
That would really hurt my Washington bet I placed in the preseason.
Well, the way Washington has played, Corey, it does not look very promising.
Heineke! Let's go.
All right. I like Cowboys on the money line. You like them as well?
I like the Cowboys on the money line, and I like the over a lot. I would parlay those two together, guaranteed, because this game has no defense at all. It's going to be high offense, high octane. They could score into the 60s combined, honestly. I want every piece of this game.
As long as Justin Herbert does not turn the ball over in the red zone 2 times this week, we'll be better.
Yeah, I mean, give the ball to Austin Eckler. He had 0 targets last year. Really hurt. Game. Yeah. Oh my God. Last game really hurt my fantasy football team. I gotta say. So if Eckler, if you're listening, I know you like fantasy football. Make sure you catch the ball. That'd be great. Thank you.
He was hurt all year too last year, or most of the year last year, right?
Yeah, with a hamstring.
Yeah, so we got to factor that in, I guess. But he'll be.
He ran it like 14 times. He doesn't run it usually a ton.
Yeah.
Oh God.
That's right. Lions Packers -12.
Whoa.
Jeopardy.
Awesome. Ken Jennings.
See, this game scares me. I like the Lions at +12. I love the Lions at +12. The way they played against the 49ers last week, Packers. You know what, though? Aaron Rodgers is going to have a bounce-back game, Corey, and he's going to come out and he's going to be exceptional. I know that's going to happen, so I'm torn. I'm going to let you go first.
Well, I'm going to take the Packers -12. I think everyone's a little afraid of the Lions because when you look at that box score of the Lions-Niners game, you're like, the Lions gave the Niners a pretty decent game. All of that was in garbage time. Jared Goff was awful. Don't look at that stat line and be like, Jared Goff was great. 3 touchdowns. Awesome. It was only a 8-point game. They scored 33 points against a pretty good defense in San Fran. The Packers are pissed. Aaron Rodgers is going to just eviscerate Detroit. He's going to bite the kneecap of Dan Campbell and then offer it to Jared Goff as sacrifice. I mean, this game is going to be just, I don't even want to watch it. I'm going to watch it. It's going to be over in like the first quarter. I'm like, why am I still watching this? It's a 20-point game. I'm going to take the Packers -12.
See, I like the Lions at +11.5, and now the line has shifted to +12, and I like the Lions. I'm going to go with the Lions. I'm going to stick with my gut here.
Stagnation.
I'm going to go with the Lions. I love this bet today because the Packers, Aaron Rodgers does not want to be in Green Bay. He does not like playing for the Packers. That's going to show today. Jameis Winston last week is still in his head, and he's going to lose to the Lions today and Jared Goff. Not lose, but they're going to cover. Lions will cover. That's what I think. I think the Packers escape today with another win, and I think the alarms start going off in Green Bay saying, what's wrong with this team?
Hey, man, I'm proud of you. That's a bold claim.
I'm making all bold bets today because one of them's going to hit, and then I'll be like, I'll just. So
you can just tweet that out and say, I called this. Don't look at anything else. Just
the one bet I hope that hits is the Eagles +3.
Well, it's your best bet, so I would hope so. Right. If it's your worst bet, then yeah.
Now, Chiefs -3.5 versus the Ravens. I would be smashing the Chiefs on the spread in this game. I love this. No?
I'm picking the Ravens.
To win or to cover?
The Ravens have Lamar Jackson has never beat Patrick Mahomes at any of the times they faced.
He's going to do it now with all his dudes hurt.
Exactly. I mean, honestly, the Chiefs defense is nothing spectacular. I think the Ravens, they have to win at some point. I mean, for God's sakes, this is at home. It's in Baltimore. It's in front of your home fans. Lamar will forget about the fumbling. He's going to have a great game. This is just like me thinking that you can't beat someone as many times in a row as the Chiefs have beaten the Ravens in the Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson era. I think I'm going to take Ravens with the money line at plus 170.
See, all right. I don't mind that. I like the Chiefs. I think Chiefs at minus 200 is honestly a steal in this game on the money line because I don't, like you said, he hasn't beat Patrick Mahomes. What makes you think he's going to do it now? I do think the Ravens get out to a hot start in this game. I think they do. And I think the Chiefs just do what they did to Baker Mayfield last week. Everyone thinks, okay, the Browns are going to win this game. And then Patrick Mahomes rallies the troops and they win. And now, granted, Baker Mayfield did make a stupid throw at the end of the game. I think he got hit. He got hit as he threw the interception, though. Like it wasn't, or he was trying
he was trying to throw it out of bounds.
Yeah. Because when I saw it first, I'm like, what the hell is he doing? And he was trying to, he just didn't have enough arm strength on it. But Chiefs, minus 3.5 is a lock. This could be my lock of the week, Corey. I think they go into Baltimore and they make a statement.
This is just my like gut feeling. Like, you know, when you look at a game, you see a spread and you're just like, I don't know, something's telling me that this could actually cover. And I feel like the Ravens are going to go into this game desperate, not only because they got embarrassed by Las Vegas, but because they're tired of losing to Kansas City.
All right. I feel it, Corey. I like it. We went against each other a lot today. But we will see who has the better day on DraftKings Sportsbook. $1,000 deposit match. Link is in the description below. Best bets for Week 2 NFL Sunday. Corey, if you got one lock, what is it?
My best bet was the Titans at +6 against Seattle.
Titans +6. My best bet is Chiefs minus 3.5.
Whoa, you're switching.
Blowout win tonight.
What happened to your Eagles pride?
That's not my best bet, Corey. That's my stupidest bet that could pay off.
You said it was your lock.
Chiefs minus 3.5 is a lock. The Eagles probably will cover that because
question mark.
That's what I think. I got so many clips I can take for this. I can take the end clips and say I was great here. I can take the middle clips and say I was great there. You know, that's how I do it here. Chiefs minus 3.5 tonight. Sunday Night Football is going to be one hell of a football game. I cannot wait to see Patrick Mahomes whoop Lamar Jackson's ass because he is a running quarterback and he will not win this game tonight. That does it for best bets for Week 2 NFL Sunday. Corey, that was a fun one. Next Sunday. We'll see you then.
See you later, guys.
Patriots, too. Ring chasers.
Yes, please listen. Even if you don't like it, Alabama lady gave it 2 stars.
There you go. 2 stars. Let's go. We give it 5.
Exactly.
That does it, guys. We will talk to you next week for another episode of Best Bets for your NFL Sunday. This was NFL Kickoff presented by footballtakes.com. Talk to you next week.